Hello there, and welcome back to France and better than Napoleon. Last time I messed up again, strategically. Once again, military seems to be my Achilles heel currently. But anyways, I do probably get a little bit overconfident because I'm France, and France has an incredible military power. But we'll try and, well, deal with this. Currently, Russia's besieging everything that I took after beating us. Oh. Ooh. What? Chambers of Reunion, aiming at European hegemony and the rounding of French frontiers in north and in the east to the Rhine. Louis XIV has established the Chambers of Reunion, courts that advance claims to imperial territories. These expansionist policies were at first tolerated by France's powerless neighbors. It reached its climax in 1681 with the annexation of the free city of Strasbourg in Alsace and the 1684 occupation of Luxembourg. The reunion was recognized by the Empire in the 1684 Truce of Regensburg, mostly because the Emperor was preoccupied by the Turkish menace, Siege of Vienna, and this led to the creation of the anti-French League of Augsburg. Let him either fall or get a bunch of free claims. To be perfectly honest, I don't care too much about the claims. It's free claims, and let's face it, Burgundy, Bar, French Mexico, and Florida. That makes no sense though. Apparently, I'm claiming things in the New World, but we'll make the claim. Doesn't really matter too much. Basically, I have claims now to Burgundy. And I'm tempted to actually pull these claims because Burgundy is a very rich and Frenchy, kind of Frenchy territory. And of course, since we already pissed off the Emperor, it's not actually a problem getting rid of Burgundy. They're allied with Milan too, which in theory could mean that I could push for, well, Romagna at the very least. I'm not really sure how I want to handle this. Milan, I would really like these guys as an ally for the time being. So we will probably use them as an ally for a war against Austria. Then we'll turn our tails on Burgundy. In terms of the war with Austria, the goal will basically just be to weaken them, which in turn could turn the Emperor into, well, it could in theory turn into Brandenburg, but then I realize Brandenburg is Protestant, so this won't really happen. But the Holy Empire will not do any more reforms. That's a given. That's certain because of how things currently are. But we'll be moving on Russia. Did not go too well last time. I should probably just focus on rushing down Russia. See what I did there? Rushing them down. But anyways, that is a very bad pun. We'll just deal with Russia the best way we can, hopefully by having them attack us. Weak generals and all that, you know. So we'll have to see how we want to handle this. But first and foremost, let's just set up a siege here in Novgorod. And I'm going to be using a huge siege army, 48,000 men. And that's basically just to make sure that if they attack, we'll inflict some damage in the beginning. And I'm a little bit unsure what I want to do in terms of the other sieges here. If I want to move my troops into Turkmen or Tikhvin and just try and re-siege the fortresses. I think I'm going to use 124,000 man army for that. Basically just reconquest, if you will. And that should of course help with my potential war exhaustion. I believe it's starting to get pretty high, 2.48, but as you can see I get 0.4 from basically the occupied provinces here. So I just need to re-siege them, and then we can start dealing with other things. Where are you guys going now? Are you just sitting there? Yes, you are. Charles, 114. Charles, I hate you. I hate you, Mr. Charles, because that guy is going to undoubtedly screw me over sooner or later because of his bad stats. Military-wise, he's a blessing, but other than that, he's not very good. We'll bribe an advisor because we have the money to bribe an advisor. But I'll just keep on moving here with the troops and everything, and we'll see how things pan out. I'm currently minus 44 war score with these guys, and that is due to 7 battles, minus 21. 12 in this one, which they attacked us in. 10 in this one. How's Russia's manpower recovering? They have 10,000 manpower. No, sorry, they still have 0 manpower. They have 7,000 mercenaries. So they're still relying on mercenary power, and the war exhaustion is still rising. So I don't think I have too many concerns in terms of actually beating them. It's just beating them before they become a problem, a big problem, I might add. So do I want to invest in naval force? Sure, no reason not to. We have money, and I've basically been building the ships that we'll be building for a while, so it's not really a big problem. They're moving to take back Vologda here, so I'm going to move these guys back up, I think. And that should potentially put me in a charge of an army that can deal with the Russians. Let's see. Novgorod siege is over. Let's make a move on Pskov. It could make them flip in terms of where they're going, which would be hilarious. Come on, destroy the Georgian army. There we go. Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing now. They're 50,000 men, so we basically have the exact same amount of troops. Novgorod on the 5th of April. If I do this, will you still march? Yes, you will. 4 shock general, no fire. When are you going to get your... There we go, movement locked. I'm not going to be sending any more troops back, because I think we can beat them in this one. We should be able to. Let's just join up forces there. 46,000 versus 50. Let us reverse course. So their tactics here, they got a -1 from crossing, -1 from terrain. They do have that 4 shock general though, which could be problematic. They also have far more cavalry, but I think we're going to win this one pretty substantially here because we are actually getting good rolls versus their rolls. And of course that's just worth 1 war score because, you know, fairness and all that. But anyways, we're just going to do some sieges now, re-siege and then get aggressive on them. And then we'll deal with Austria, England, and everything in between after that. So it should be fine. I have to see how I want to handle Scandinavia too, for that matter. So there's a lot of things to be done. I think also this army requires a promotion to a proper troop build. So let's just have them build it in Alcaçuz and, well, basically making them look a little bit better. These guys are going to be moving forwards to into Genoan territory for defense, and also be moving these guys into back home basically to protect my lands. So how are we doing here? Fernando Po? Do I want to convert Fernando Po? Don't think so. What we're going to do here is just basically convert England because we basically have got rid of the centers. Oh, it seems like all the centers of reformation are gone. So do not. Let's just go through this. Let's just get the religious unity sorted out once and for all. But yeah, for the time being, we'll just keep on doing what we have been doing, and we'll see how things turn out. Time to do something interesting. We've basically sieged most of the area, so I'm going to take this 47,000 man army, and we're going to challenge the army in the Yarrow style. They have grasslands, and we will cross the river, but I think we should be able to beat them. Basically, they still have that 4 shock general though, which could be a problem. But again, I think we can beat them in this scenario, and I did actually not get a negative modifier from that river crossing. Colonialism against 13 colonies, so they've already set up a colony. Damn. England, you scary, you colonial bastard. The problem with declaring war on England, though, before I'm done with Russia, is Scandinavia. They're basically the only big problem. Also, Scandinavia itself is England and Magdeburg, so we're going to basically call them as co-belligerent, take the Scandinavian provinces that we want, already claimed on, and well, we'll deal with things from there. Basically, the claims means that I can just place a troop in Skåne, and that will block off any attack from south. Then I can just keep on, well, expanding the front line on the western border. But the battle here with the Russian force is definitely going our way. As you can see, we did beat them. And with that, we're going to move our troops into Belisero. Now, if you guys are actually running to... They're actually running to Ostrov. Seriously, game? Seriously? Why do you allow this to happen? But yeah, they're basically running to, as you can see here, Ostrov. And that means that they're running through occupied territory. A fortress occupied territory to evade. They're running through 2 fortresses to get there, which is, well, not fair. Not fair at all. Solstice is sieged, which means that I can put a general in charge of this one, Jean-Baptiste. And we're going to take Vyatka now, because that's basically the war goal, and that is something we need. So I'm going to jump these 2 forces here to beat the Russian army. It's a mercenary, mostly army now, so it shouldn't be a problem. And hopefully with that I can also set up sieges in Moscow, among other things. So we'll see how this goes. We've got a -1 sadly, but again, still our forces are highly superior. They have 9,000 forces and 14,000 cannons. So even though there's some sacrifice, I'm pretty sure we can afford that very, very easily. I'll just allow Austria to besiege so they can't actually run back there anymore. It's been a problem that they've actually been doing that. Georgia is still in the war, sadly. Russia occupied Rosev. Let's see it. Georgia, do you want to leave, perhaps? Yes, I will allow this. There we go. With Georgia out of it, it's going to be much easier to just focus on the war itself, so no complaints there. I'll go ahead and do the sieging, finish the sieging if you will, of the Russian provinces that we're after, and we'll see how things turn out. Leopold of Austria, they have a new ruler. Sadly, they also have an heir, so I can't do some aggressive moves there, sadly. It would be hilarious if I could, but not much I can do about that. For now, however, we'll continue doing it as we have been, and we'll see how things turn out here. The Russians went on the aggressive here. I should probably have predicted this, but I didn't, which is a bad thing. They went on the aggressive and actually will attack my army that does not have a general. They're using the Fort Shock general. You got a -1 to terrain though, 10,000, 10,000, 15,000. So we will most likely lose this battle. No, we're actually going to most likely end up with a draw here, or routing them even. No, we're not going to be able to rout them. But we're going to injure them to a point that when I arrive with my second army here, it will be enough to send them away crying, which will be very helpful. It'll also be very interesting to see just how we're going to deal with England and their 13 colonies here. They seem to be very aggressive in terms of expansion. And Holland is still just sitting on this one little province in the New World. I have no idea what they're planning. Because as far as I can see, they haven't actually colonized a single thing. So, that's interesting. But anyways, we'll have to deal with that later. Let's see, can I order you guys to... I'm tempted to just try and send an army or a fleet here to circumvent the globe. But yeah, these guys are definitely going to lose, so let's just see just how much damage it can inflict before they have to run. And I'll be using this army here, of course, now to try and rout the army here in Viatka. Can I get there before the change? No, I can't. Do you know what? We're not going to do that. We're just going to sit back here. It doesn't really matter. We can just slowly but surely siege our way forwards. And as soon as I take Moscow and Yaroslav, that's going to be, well, make it a lot easier too. So I should have paid attention. That was my bad. I also decided to switch up the strategy here, based in India. Pulicat. Pulicat? Where is that? What? What? Why did he call it Pulicat then? That makes no sense. Tondino should be... where now? I really should play more on this side of the map to learn it. Tondino. Again, it's on the eastern side, so I could take that mission, but I think in this case we're going to do it very simple. We're going to create a proper fleet, council, and get a new mission later on. But yeah, as I said, I'll just sit back, deal with Russia, and we'll see what happens here. Russia is once again on the move. This time they're going after Belisero. Actually, they're going to Belisero. What? We're going to get there first, though, which is weird. So they have locked their course. That's a hilarious fact here. The third army is going to get it first, and with that, we can also send the army in Moscow, done sieging, to intercept, and that puts us in an interesting position. Because again, once again a better force than a reinforcement incoming. The battle will actually be decided, I think. Oh, I was about to say before the reinforcements arrive, but it wasn't. But yeah, it's getting very, very tense in some way, I guess I could say. But for now, I'll just keep on sieging eastwards, and we'll see how I want to handle this. But Russia is definitely going down quickly right now. I have no idea what I want to do with them. Seems like they're actually moving their troops into... It's going to be trapped on the eastern side here, so what I could do now is just move my secondary troops to Istosilsk, and that should, in theory, well, trap the Russian forces, making it very easy to get what I want. So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll see how things turn out. Well, once again, black news, stability drop. We have yet another Regency Council. Because why the hell not? 3-year-old this time. 402 Regency Council. Never ever again am I making my ruler into a general. Never. I refuse to do such a thing. But yeah, this is going to get interesting in terms of how I want to deal with this. Burgundy actually do have a weak heir. Interestingly enough. Probably have no legal heir, 29 years old. Succession war between Geller and Utrecht. Well, things could be interesting. Yeah? I'm very tempted also to go after Brandenburg. Allow myself with them, but it'll be 13 years now without a war, 12 years now without a war, which means that the English dominance in the New World might actually spread. We'll have to see how we want to deal with that. Of course, Russia is going to go down. I'm going to be taking up quite a bit, I think, thanks to this. So what we're going to do here is actually just pick up the things here once we can. We might as well just pick up land clearance. Level 21 admin tech, purchase efficiency increased by 10%. We might as well just pick up the Chebak. Enables the Chebak, basically a new, well, galley, which is interesting. And I don't want to really upgrade infantry just yet. I want to just try and finish the quantity ideas tree. So conscripted garrisons, garrison size plus 25%. I could also go with supply trains, just finish it completely, and let's just do that. Land attrition minus 10%, and now land force limit modifier plus 50, which means, in theory, now that our force limits are 340,000 men. That's what we can feel right now, 340,000. That is not anything to scoff at. But yeah, for the time being, we'll just have to try and deal with this war as best we can. We'll continue next time. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.